Here we are with War 9 of Season 23. You can tell by the thumbnail, something goes wrong. Start off here with my standard Path 9 and Section 1, the Hazard Shift, Stubborn Global. And then in Section 2, Path 9, I've got this Rhino, then Dragonman, and I also end up taking that Sorcerer Supreme as well. I didn't know I'd be taking that when I first joined. It was added later. And then this modok on the Hazard Shift Mini. So pretty standard, just, Section 9 and Section 2. So I go into this first fight and I see, this darkhawk. And I'm like, I don't need big boost for that. So I throw on, my normal 15% attack and health. And then the 10% combo boost. And that's going to come into play on the korg fight. So this fight's just a diversity fight. There's really nothing too much to it. It's just with rulk, it's just pound through. I mean it's a fast fight. It's a 5-star against a rank 3, somewhat boosted 6-star. So you can see here he's going down really fast. There's nothing really too complicated about it. Just a diversity fight. No big deal. Try not to miss a parry, and that's it. Moving into this next fight, I decided to be a little bit skimpy on boost because we're getting towards the end of the season. We're not going to be top 3. We should be fine for Masters. I figured we would win this war pretty easily. So I was like, you know what, if I don't need to boost too big. I should be fine. If I die, there goes the season, but it's not that big of a deal. I wasn't planning on dying. I stripped the masteries, took off decks, and came into this fight thinking, I should be fine. I've done this fight so many times that I'm used to it. This is a reminder to myself to that it's off, so that'll also come into play at some point. And here I'll throw in a 6k pot. I don't heal all the way to full, but pretty close. And you can see my health here is at 52,000. Attack's not pretty high, so going to this fight, it's my normal korg strategy. Just eat the rock shield damage, and then bait specials or bait heavies, and use that as my opening. But he was throwing his SB1s rather liberally, and I kind of didn't expect that. And I took more block damage from the SB1 than I was expecting, and here I'm already down to 78%, and there's 73%, and so you can see the combination of him just spamming these special ones and the rock shield. I'm already down to 63%, and around here is where I'm starting to think, like, maybe I should have boosted bigger, because this one isn't going as easily as I'm used to. Because normally you've seen it in the past where he won't throw SB1s, and occasionally I'm able to get him up to SB2. So I don't take that much block damage, so it's not a big deal. So it starts to concern me there. But here pretty soon, I think I get down below 50%, and I'm into courage range. Or no, it's that I accidentally parried, and I'm like, oh, that was not good. And every time I parried, then he was shrugging it off, restoring it, and I'm like, well, crud. So here I am trying to get to another special 3, and there I go. And I maybe should have thrown it now, but I wasn't sure if it'd push him to a SP3 himself. And then there I just messed up. I was indecisive on whether or not I would outrange it, and I've done it before where I get it indecisive, and you can't really do that. You either have to be dashing back to outrange it from the start or not at all. So here you can see he throws another SB1, and taking a ton of block damage, and here I'm like, this isn't good. So like, I thought I was out of range for that heavy, or for him to throw a heavy there, and it obviously, barely even connected. So here I am, just like, this isn't good, and I can't dex out of that, and so under boosted and too many mistakes, and just well, there's the death if y'all been waiting for one of those. Yeah, I'm not too happy about that, but it is what it is. I can make excuses now. Here's the really regrettable part. Just to heal him back up, it's 5 potions, and it's like, ugh. I forgot how much when you die it costs on potions to heal back up. That stinks. I come back in here like, all right, just finish it off. Reset and be ready for the next. But occasionally you gotta die and remember that you're not invincible, and don't take things too lightly. So even here I'm taking quite a bit of chip damage just trying to finish him off, which is another thing that really sucked. But I wonder if I should just leave Dex on for this fight. It can make things harder, but then I could evade out of that SB1 and lose some of that chip damage. But oh well. Here I am just trying to throw the SB3. This should finish him off. There's really not too much to say about that. I underboosted and made too many mistakes. It is what it is, though. I'm gonna not try to let it affect me too much. We've got 3 more wars this season, and 1 death in a season. That's all right. So I go into this fight, and there's something I forgot about Rhino that I really should have kept in mind whenever I started using rulk for this. Is Rhino starts off with physical resistance. So rulk's extra damage is physical damage. It's an additional physical damage added to. So my damage was reduced quite a bit. So here I am trying to bait a SB1, and like, this is a 5-star, so I wasn't really too worried, but I'm a little bit concerned about getting cornered. So I know I've got the indestructible up, but I kind of need to get out of my corner. So I'm just really trying to get to an SB3 with out the here I should have just thrown the SB3. He shouldn't have had enough there. So, but I decided to try to bait the SB2 just because. And there I take the block hits on the last hit of the SB2, so I can go ahead and throw the SB3. But I mean, it's still Rhino, a 5-star Rhino, so it wasn't going to be too much of an issue. But I was a little bit surprised by how much damage I took. Like, you can see there, I ate a heavy and it didn't do that much damage. And once again, on that, I was mostly trying to avoid dexterity to make sure that I get the full incinerate damage. After that fight, I did reset my masteries. You can see the 3 up top. Basically, I've got the exact same masteries, but I removed poison for this fight and the next. And then I've fought Dragonman here before with Magic. It's not a too complicated fight. Mostly, take it a little bit slow until you get the power lock on, and then just do it. He surprised me a bit. I'm not used. He kind of just threw that willy-nilly, and it works for me. It doesn't matter to me. But one mistake I see people doing on Dragonman is whenever they evade his heavy, they'll double dash back. And even with someone with magic who doesn't exactly have a long dash back, you don't have to do that, and it can really risk you going back in. So if you want a tip on that on Dragonman, don't do double dash backs on his heavy. Just do 1 dash back and you're fine. I haven't been clipped yet. So, and you can see I've fought him, I don't know, 5 or 6 times over the last 2 seasons with Magic, and it's never been an issue. But still, pretty easy fight. as long as he's agreeable, then there's very little risk. And even if he does get a little off, then you can still blast through him pretty easily. So here like I said, this wasn't originally planned, but I got this I was asked to take this fight too, and you saw me use the 20k team health because it heal up both magik and rulk. I did that because you can see my items. I am a little bit lower, and if I should happen to die on that modok mini or this fight, then I'm gonna need those items, to be able to finish off, so I don't have to call him back up. Our BG hasn't used backup for anything in, oh gosh, 3 seasons, 4 seasons, something like that. Like it's been a long time since we've had to call in backup to bail someone out of a fight. I may be forgetting one somewhere, but the last one I can remember is a guy who went into a korg and ran into some issues, and I don't really talk. I'm not really talking much about this fight because it's pretty much standard. Just magic. After you get the power lock on, cycle the SB2, and that's it. It takes all the difficulty out of this node. This next fight, modok, is it's always fun because obviously what you really want with modok is someone with true strike, or someone like Nick Fury who can go unblockable. But there's no one that's really an option for that on hazard shift, and that's kind of why modok's placed here. But one thing most people really don't think about is modok has extremely low block proficiency. So even though he's going to auto block you, you can do a lot of damage through the block. So if you keep that in mind, you can just kind of focus on hitting through the block. You can see here my boost. I'm not super boosted, but I did kind of go with the 20% over the 10%. I threw the combat region on because I know I'm going to take quite a block damage and the bleed suicide. So it's like, I already died once this war. Let's throw on just a little bit of a safety net. I don't really have to worry about the heavy too much other than its own damage. But you can see I pretty much just, don't worry too much about his auto block. I just shorten my combos so that, I'm not hitting too much into his. And then right there is something that surprised me. And I'm hitting into him, and the auto block comes up, and then he just drops his block immediately. And I'm a little bit confused there. And so that kind of got into my head. And then that time I did block, and I'm not really sure what happened. The SB1, yeah, I messed that up because I was trying to figure out what happened on the earlier one. But that next one, I hit block, and I don't know. That one I'm going to say is a dropped input. And there it happens again, where I'm hitting into the auto block and just goes away. I'm really not sure. That one just confused me. But you can see I'm pretty much smoking this modok down, and a lot of it's just been through pretty safe play. So, the key thing here is with modok is just take it slow and don't get too worried about anything. And that pretty much finishes this fight off. Not really a too tough fight, but I can see why he's placed here, because it can, if you don't think about hitting into his block for damage, it can be really sore point. But so yeah, first death, I'm doing good overall. 47.8 true difficulty rating. Still got pretty decent solo rate bonus. 49.19 overall power rating. Fourth in the BG. We did not have a good war this war. We lost. And then 11th overall in the Alliance. And yeah, it was just a bad war for everyone. So hopefully this next war is a better one. We'll see. See if I can finish off the season with just that one death, or if I'll dilly it up again. Y'all have a good one.